Hello my fellow fasting friends, it's Jackie and welcome back to my week 11 update. I don't have a ton to report this week, but I'm just going to go over a few things, and this is going to be one of my shorter updates. But first of all, I still love intermittent fasting. Second of all, I'm still sharing it with everyone I know. I have some people really close to me in my life that I'm super excited are on board and are trying it, which makes me so excited. Some of them are doing it for health reasons, some are doing it for weight loss, and altogether I love it so much that I just want to share it with everyone. So I'm pretty stoked about that. I'm going to get right into my quantitative data for the week. I have lost 0.28 pounds, which is barely a quarter of a pound this week. I am not surprised just because I do my daily averages and I knew that the scale really wasn't budging much. However, the exciting thing about that is I went camping this weekend and I actually had some longer windows because I was camping, and I was eating lots of like picnicky, barbecue-y type foods and no-bake cookies, which are a personal weakness of mine. And I didn't gain weight. I didn't feel bad after the weekend, and it was super easy to just go back to my normal fasting schedule. So I didn't lose a ton of weight. Again, 0.28 pounds is a loss, and I'm still very happy about that. I will give you my first before and after photo. So this photo that I'm about to share with you is my before is 4 weeks after I did the intermittent fasting, the quick start, as Jen outlines in Fast Feast Repeat. She encourages you to take pictures at the end of the first 4 weeks and compare them. I don't have the exact same pictures to compare to my first because, well, I did it in my underwear and I'm not sharing those photos. But from week 4 to week 11, a 7-week difference. You can see right here, this is the first before and after picture I'm sharing with you guys. I actually did post it earlier this week in the Facebook group. I'm still not ready, I guess, to share from the front yet because I've had 3 kids and my stomach definitely looks like I've had 3 kids, and that is not said to shame anyone. I honestly do believe that women's bodies are very beautiful. I just personally don't feel comfortable sharing mine yet because my comfort level isn't there. However, you can see the back because you can, I don't know. Okay, so keeping up with the data, here is my fasting windows for the week. You can see that I had my first gray because I was at 16 hours and 50 minutes, even though it only shows up at 16 hours. It doesn't really matter. Gotta get out of my own brain about that. But you can see my average for the week was just over 20 hours a day. And then you can also see my weight for the week. It's pretty steady and it did not dip much, which is why my average is only a 0.28 pound loss. And once again, I did not measure anything this week. I still don't have any plans of doing that for a while, but my clothes are actually fitting looser. So the weather has dropped here in Michigan to like 40s and 50s at night. So I've been dressing warmer in the evening, and I've started to put on clothes that I haven't worn since early spring, and oh my goodness, let me tell you, they really fit different, and that is amazing. Like, that is so encouraging. That even almost feels better than seeing lower numbers because I can be the same weight and smaller. I know that. And if you don't know that, you should really get back into the book, read Body Composition, listen to the podcast where people talk about staying the same weight for a year but losing 3 sizes. I know Jen has done something similar. Other people, it's amazing. So body recomposition is where it's at. So I don't really care what my number says as long as I keep shrinking and keep feeling amazing and keep eating amazing food. One other thing I want to share with you guys this week is I feel like I had a slight mental breakthrough because last week I shared with you guys that every single week I fast, I have had a perfect at least 18 hours fasting window. And I really do care more about getting the 18 hours than how long my eating window is. I eat until I'm satisfied and I'll close my window. Sometimes it's literally been as short as like 9 minutes, or I've probably had a couple 10-hour days on my up days. However, I've always fasted at least 18 hours in between. Well, this weekend when I was camping, it was at my dad's house and there were 3 other families besides my dad and his wife, and all of us, everyone cooked a big breakfast, and I didn't have any plans of participating and I wasn't even feeling sad about it. However, it just felt, I was getting to know my dad's wife's family, and we were just having a good time, and there was so many good stuff, and I love breakfast. So there was like corned beef hash, and there was biscuits and gravy, there were really fluffy scrambled eggs, there was bacon, and there was fruit and banana bread. And I was at like 16 hours and 48 minutes. And it was like one of those, like, the kids woke up and had an early breakfast, and then once everyone woke up and had their coffee and actually like got around for the day, we made like a later breakfast brunch. So it just felt like it would be fun to participate, and the food looked delicious, and I thought, you know what, I could open my window now and enjoy this with everyone, and I knew I would enjoy the food, like it was window worthy to me. Or I could be very rigid and make myself hit the 18-hour mark. And I just, like, I had a moment of clarity that if I want to be rigid, I'm basically living in the diet mindset still, which is where I've lived for my entire adult life. I've always, even if I indulge, I think about it, or I feel bad about it, or then I diet, and I don't. That's what I love about intermittent fasting, is I want to be able to enjoy the foods I enjoy around the people that I enjoy and let it be flexible. And so, long story short, I ended up eating the breakfast. I closed my window at it was like 16 hours and 50 minutes. And hindsight, I wish I would have waited just 10 more minutes, so it would have shown 17. But again, that's just my data mind. I was so close to 17 hours, and really, I was already probably in ketosis. I could taste it in my mouth, and I knew that one added meal wasn't going to ruin what I've done. And that's the great thing about this, is these fun events or things that you want to participate in that you normally wouldn't. I really don't have problems saying no to things, because if I don't want to, I really don't have a problem saying no. But it was just the freedom to not feel like I was cheating or I gave up, and I was proud of myself that I let go of the rigid, and knowing that my fasting app wouldn't have a green day. That was probably the hardest hurdle for me. I'm a data junkie, but I didn't want to be rigid, and I don't want to feel like I'm dieting. So that was my big win for myself this week, is I broke my fast before the 18 hours, even though it's the first time I've done that, and I really like having the perfect history. I much more enjoyed being able to participate, eating the breakfast, and then getting back on. And my window was only 6 hours that day still. So we had like a brunch, and then we had an early dinner. So we had like 2 main meals that day. And I still had, I basically made a big taco salad and margaritas that were delicious. And I felt so satisfied and fulfilled. I participated, and then I fasted probably like 23 hours after that before I ate again, because I was very satisfied, and it didn't ruin anything. I was able to close my window and keep fasting the next day without feeling like, oh, I ruined it, I'm done. Give me all the no-bakes. And that is pretty cool. So I had a diet mindset breakthrough, and if you've ever dieted, you probably know what I'm talking about. I allowed myself to be flexible, and that's why this is a lifestyle and not a diet. And I hope that encourages you to make similar choices. I'm not encouraging you to eat all the meals that you otherwise wouldn't. I'm encouraging you to let this lifestyle be flexible and really realize the advantages of the options and making it work for yourself. So even though I don't normally eat at 11 a.m., I was able to open my window early, have it open for 6 hours, really enjoy myself, and then get right back on the train. That's why intermittent fasting is what works really well for me. I enjoy the food I like. I get to specialize it to whatever is going on in my day, and I don't have guilt. So, woohoo! Next point of interest, you might be wondering what this is. I never knew what this is until I had to get one, but a tongue scraper. I have been having really bad keto breath. If you have read the book, which I hope you have at this point, you understand what I'm talking about, maybe. At least you've read about it. So when your body is in ketosis, which is basically your body burning your stored fat, which hopefully you get to every day if you're intermittent fasting, you develop what's called keto breath. Some people get it, some people don't. Unfortunately, I do. And my husband and my daughter, one of them in particular, just can't stand it and are like, oh, stop it. And I've always had kind of an issue with bad breath because I have very giant tonsils. I have tonsil crypts is what they call them. And I really need to get my tonsils taken out, but I just haven't yet. I plan to do that next year. Anyways, I already have, because of my crypts, like bad breath issues. But when I'm not chewing gum and having mints throughout the day, and then I have this keto breath on top of it, it honestly is horrible. Thank God we're wearing masks right now, right? Anyways, I've been doing some research, and so one thing that people really recommended, even though I do brush my tongue with my toothbrush, is I'm now scraping it like a number of times a day with this thing. I got a 2-pack at Walmart for like $3. My middle daughter, of course, if I had one, she wanted one, so she took the other one. But after I brush my teeth, actually I do it before and after. You just scrape it, and it's gross what color your spit is when it comes off, because it's not, it actually is like brown, but I think it's mainly because I drink a lot of coffee. So I have coffee keto crypt breath, and be lucky you're on the other side of a screen, not in front of me. I probably need to get some, Jen recommends, like, I can't think of what it's called. Some pure, like 100% pure peppermint oil. Be very careful of additives, and you can just like put a breath or a drop in your mouth, which is something I do for like sinus issues anyways. I'm just now out of peppermint, so I need to get that so I can just kind of like rub it in my gums if I'm gonna be in people's faces. But basically I'm just trying to stay away. Again, another reason we love social distancing right now. But that is basically the 2 things I have going this week. I also wanted to share with you guys why I am making these weekly videos. It's not so much that I think you guys really care about my journey, but it can be hard if you don't have a friend in the process. I'm actually really lucky that people very close to me in my life, like a best friend and family members, are actually doing this, and I enjoy talking to them about it. But I think it's really important to kind of have a community. So if you're not in the Facebook group, I really encourage that. And I just think it's kind of nice to have someone that you can, I would hope that you guys feel free to reach out to me on Instagram, or you can message me in the comments, and I would love to just like be your buddy in this. I also thought that if people are kind of thinking of someone in their life that is doing intermittent fasting and following this method, and they think it's a bad thing, because I've heard people say, oh, you're basically starving yourself, or I hear on the podcast that people have family members that are worried that they're starving themselves and that's why they're losing weight. I thought maybe people might look into it from a point of view that they're worried about family members, and see that, oh, here's a real life person that's doing really well, and she's able to still be a mom and a wife, and she cooks and she eats real food, that maybe sharing my journey would give others peace of mind or encourage them to start the lifestyle. So I'm sharing with you guys basically as an encouragement and a way for you to like see, does anyone else have god-awful breath? Oh, she does. Yay, I'm not alone. So that kind of stuff, like I know the way intermittent fasting changes me and influences me is going to be different than it is for everyone else. But it's nice to have people in your community, and I thought it would be fun to kind of build that kind of a community, especially if you love food as much as I do. It'd be fun to have food friends that also fast. So if you're a food friend that also fasts, let me know in the comments and I'll follow up. Like I said, I was camping this weekend, so I wasn't around as much and I didn't film as much as I normally would, but here are some of the foods that I ate this week. So let's go look at the yummies. I'm opening my eating window at 21 hours. I did this last week a couple times. It's super good and very satisfying for me. I have artichokes, olives, cheese, and salami. So I'm going to open this as a snack before we have dinner. Okay, dinner tonight, pecan praline sauce, bacon, and pumpkin pancakes. I made drunken noodles again for dinner. I made them spicy for Matt and I. The kids are having chicken noodle soup with grilled cheese and apples. I made myself a half grilled cheese and some apples. So this is how I'm breaking my almost 24.5-hour fast. And for dessert that night, I had pudding while I was reading Delay Don't Deny. So that's just a small sampling of what I ate during the week, and you can see that none of my windows are exactly the same. So if you have any questions about what I do for fasting, again, I'm not an expert in this. I just am doing this to share my experience. I really highly recommend that you read Fast, Feast, Repeat. I'm also now, I have Obesity Code on order to read. I really love information, and I'm enjoying reading about fasting as much as I'm enjoying sharing about it. Not quite as much as I am about feeling the health benefits. That is still superior to me, but reading is almost as fun. But I just love reading the books, the podcasts. So I have Obesity Code en route to me, and I just started Delay Don't Deny. So I read Fast, Feast, Repeat before I read Delay Don't Deny, but I really love Jen, and I'm super grateful for what she has done for my life already that I want to support her. So I bought her first book as well. And hopefully by my week 12 update, I'll be done with it and I can share with you my thoughts on that, and I'll add that to my Amazon links below, my affiliate links. So down below I share with you guys like the apps that I use, the scale that I use, and the books that I read. So I mentioned to you guys that I went camping this week. If you want to see the types of food that I bought for my entire week of groceries for this week, you can check out my grocery haul. I share every single Sunday the groceries that I bought for the week and the meal plan that is associated with it. So go ahead and check that out. Thank you so much for watching. Chow down and chow.